Hello everyone, today I want to share a special story that, though simple, can change the course of life. I hope it will bring a spark of hope, especially to those in midlife and beyond who are concerned about men's health. In a quiet small town in the United States lived a wise and kind grandmother named Mrs. Miller. Her white hair glowed softly like moonlight and her voice was as gentle as a summer breeze. Neighbors often sought her out when they felt troubled, not only because she was knowledgeable but because she always listened with her heart. One spring afternoon, Mr. Johnson, who was in his early 60s, slowly made his way to her home. His steps were heavy, and his face carried deep concern. Sitting on an old wooden chair under a large oak tree in her yard, he lowered his head and spoke softly. "Mrs. Miller, I feel embarrassed to say this, but lately my body isn't what it used to be, especially in my relationship with my wife. I feel distressed and don't know what to do." Mrs. Miller smiled warmly, her deep eyes filled with understanding, and replied softly, "Mr. Johnson, it's perfectly natural for the body to change with age. But that doesn't mean we should just let it happen without care. When treated with attention, the body can return to balance." After a thoughtful pause, she added, "Above all, what matters most is your diet. Many people think meals are just something to get through, but the foundation of health lies in the food we eat every day. It affects not only the heart but also the blood, circulation, vitality, and overall well-being." Her voice grew warmer, carrying the wisdom of years. "Eat colorful vegetables and fruits daily. Deep red or richly colored ones help circulation and energy. Tomatoes and broccoli, rich in antioxidants, support smooth blood flow. Garlic and ginger may smell strong, but they expand blood vessels and boost vitality effectively. Don't forget walnuts and almonds, and be sure to eat fish like salmon or mackerel, which are rich in omega fatty acids. They protect the heart and soften blood vessels, making a big difference for men's health after middle age." After sipping warm tea, Mrs. Miller continued gently, "Mr. Johnson, diet and lifestyle are important, but I'd also like to share with you a special traditional remedy passed down for generations. Long ago, people called it the dragon's elixir." Surprised, Mr. Johnson leaned forward. "Dragon's elixir?" Mrs. Miller nodded with a soft smile. "It may sound unusual, but it's a very special health drink. In ancient regions of Tibet, China, and India, masters of meditation and energy practice often drank it. It's best taken on an empty stomach in the morning before starting the day. When these simple ingredients are combined, their synergy penetrates deeply into the body, relieving fatigue, improving circulation, and restoring energy. This is not just a drink," she continued, "but when prepared with care and consumed daily, it awakens both body and mind. Especially for men struggling with vitality, there is no natural remedy quite like it." Mr. Johnson nodded slowly, impressed. "I never knew something like this existed. These days I only thought about medicine or doctors, but this makes me realize again the natural strength that still exists." Mrs. Miller smiled kindly. "The body is honest. It always responds to what you give it. If you want to regain your strength, that desire itself is already the beginning of recovery." Hope began to return to Mr. Johnson's eyes. She explained further, "Garlic lowers blood pressure and supports the cardiovascular system. Ginger aids digestion and boosts immunity. Lemon helps cleanse the body. And honey not only soothes but also supports metabolism and recovery." Each ingredient is powerful on its own, but together their effect is even stronger. Mr. Johnson asked carefully, "Is it too late for me to start now?" She nodded firmly, "Of course not. The very will to recover now is what matters most. The body follows the heart. Preparing this drink each day and drinking it slowly is already part of healing. The spring sunlight outside grew warmer, and as Mr. Johnson took a deep breath, a small seed of hope began to sprout inside him. Mrs. Miller added, "Our bodies change depending on how we care for them. If something was lost not because of illness but because the heart grew weary, then warmth and care can bring it back. Even walking a short distance each day can change your body. Listening to your breath, feeling the ground with your feet, and walking slowly allows blocked energy to flow again. Especially after middle age, gentle movements that encourage energy flow are more important than intense workouts." Mr. Johnson looked at the quiet yard and said, "I realize now that I've been too passive, feeling like I was just getting old alone." Mrs. Miller smiled warmly, "I understand, but the body responds to how we treat it. Rising at a regular time, stepping into sunlight, and moving slowly will eventually make you feel alive again. Miracles don't come from grand events, but from small, consistent practices." A wildflower swayed gently in the yard. Mr. Johnson felt that, like the flower, he too still had life within him. Mrs. Miller whispered, "The body is honest. It reflects how we live each day. Start now, and you can recover. It is not too late." His expression lightened, as long-held worries and shame seemed to melt away with her words. "I realize now I thought it was just my own problem. Aging and emotional distance are natural, but I carried it alone." She nodded softly, "That's right. Everyone experiences these changes with age. What matters is how we accept and approach them. Open your heart, reach out your hand, and relationships can become warm again." Mr. Johnson bowed his head. "Today's words gave me great strength. When I return home, I'll invite my wife to share a cup of tea. We've spent too many silent days, but I will try to begin again." Mrs. Miller gently patted his back. "That alone is enough. It's a wonderful beginning." The afternoon sun poured softly, wrapping their conversation in quiet warmth. The heavy shadow in his eyes was gone, replaced with light and renewed belief. He whispered, "Thank you so much, Mrs. Miller. I will not only keep your words in my heart but practice them." She nodded slowly with a warm smile, her eyes following him long after he left. She knew his small step was already the beginning of healing. As his figure faded behind the trees, she stayed seated, her mind returning quietly to her own past when she too had faced sorrow not from illness but from emptiness after her beloved husband passed away. She sighed softly, not with sadness but with warm longing, recalling afternoons of tea, the touch of his hand, the silent comfort of simply being together. Her smile carried nostalgia, peace, and gratitude. Keeping such warmth alive, she thought, is the true strength of marriage. Her gaze turned to Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, whose hands were now intertwined, filling the space with quiet affection. The three shared gentle laughter, like a breeze of spring entering their long relationship. Later, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson sat together in Mrs. Miller's small garden, hand in hand, as peaceful as a painting. Life is like that. Even with wrinkles and time, love and healing remain by our side. Sometimes all it takes is a cup of tea or a kind word. Their eyes held the weight of years shared and a quiet promise for years still to come. Mrs. Miller smiled deeply, knowing love grows not from grand gestures but from small, steady acts of care. Time shared quietly becomes the deepest roots of connection. The fragrance of tea lingered, sunlight filled the garden, and flowers swayed gently. In her home that day, each of them bloomed with a flower of understanding, gratitude, and love. Their steps home were quiet but carried unspoken resolve. Mr. Johnson squeezed his wife's hand again, and she answered with a smile. The warm scent of tea seemed to follow them, as wildflowers nodded and the sunset painted the horizon. Time passed, but that moment felt eternal. Life was beginning anew, with understanding layered over scars, patience within silence, and trust blooming from their joined hands. Mrs. Miller stood in her yard, watching their retreating figures, tears glimmering in her eyes, not of sorrow, but of deep relief and joy, knowing today's meeting would remain a lasting light in their lives. Though the story had ended, within their hearts a new story of change had just begun, and its beginning was a warm word and a sincere touch. Such simple moments can bring deeper healing than any medicine. Life does not change through grand events but through the quiet moments of each day, the smile in each other's eyes, the warmth of a gentle hand, the silence of simply being together. These are the greatest gifts for couples growing older together. The body may not be what it once was, but the heart can grow stronger and fuller with time, and the memories built upon that heart become more fragrant as the years pass. If you are reading this now, you are already on that journey, building a better today than yesterday and a better tomorrow than today. Do not miss the precious time with the one beside you, for this moment will never return. With age, we can love more softly and more strongly, and such love can color every season of life with beauty. The journey of aging can be richer and warmer. Begin walking it from this very moment. We will always share with you quiet comfort, thoughtful guidance, and wisdom to deepen life. If this story touches your heart, read it with someone you love. And if you feel even a little moved, do not hesitate to leave a kind word. Walking the path while cherishing yourself and supporting each other is far warmer than walking alone. Time may etch wrinkles on our faces, but for those who nurture love daily, it only makes them bloom deeper and stronger.